located in Kitzbuhl, Austria, the scene perhaps of the most treacherous downhill course in all of alpine skiing. For over 40 years, the world's top downhill racers have traveled here in quest of this prestigious crown. The quest can be a frightening one indeed. For nearly 2 miles, the skier confronts a terrifying descent filled with huge bumps and hazardous turns. To heighten the drama, speeds often exceed 80 miles per hour. It's man versus mountain today at the 43rd Hahnenkamm Championship from Kitzbuhl, Austria on ABC's Wide World of Sports. Deep within the picturesque Alps is Kitzbuhl, Austria, a Tyrolean village of nearly 8,000 inhabitants, located midway between Munich, West Germany, and the northern Italian border. Kitzbuhl is one of those places endowed with picture postcard beauty, and is truly one of those spots where one lives within the past. Although Kitzbuhl is a year-round sports resort, the winter months take on a special glow. Kitzbuhl's snowy mountains with endless trails are a skier's paradise. People travel from all over the world to ski Kitzbuhl's slopes, the experienced as well as the novice, the young and the old. But it's one particular day when this village really sparkles, when an international ski crowd gathers mountainside to watch today's premier downhill skiers brave the Hahnenkamm, the downhill course which challenges the ultimate speed, endurance, and skill of the world's top downhill racers. Hello again, everyone. I'm Frank Gifford, and delighted once again to bring you the Hahnenkamm, one of the true happenings in the world of alpine skiing. Over my shoulder is the Hahnenkamm course. It begins a little less than 2 miles up the mountain with what amounts to a free fall out of the start house for the racers. It closes with the final shush, where speeds are often reached of over 80 miles per hour. In between, there are the tortuous turns and the treacherous bumps. It is indeed a happening. The World Cup downhill circuit has been a strange one this year, and to elaborate a little more on that, I'd like to call in my colleague and friend and former U.S. ski team coach Bob Beatty to tell us a little bit about it. And the downhillers have been gypsies this year, Bob.
They sure have, Frank. You know, really, they've had 5 locations where they're supposed to have been World Cup downhills this year. Only one has been held to schedule. They've had to go all over this. There's been too much wind, too much snow, not enough snow, rain, you name it, and they've had it this year. And as a result of that, of course, the conditions here, I might say, are just absolutely perfect.
Sensational since the big snow.
And this is unusual for this year. And it's the first time they've really, I think, had a regular downhill where they can really kind of depend on things. But to get back to it again, the downhillers themselves, because of this unsettling effect, never knowing where they're going to go, never knowing exactly how to train or where they're going to be, have kind of been all jumbled up. There's been no clear-cut favorite. No Franz Klammer or no Kenny Reed from Canada or Podborski. Different guys keep winning every week, and it's been kind of interesting. A lot of new guys are coming up, so we really don't know what to expect, but maybe it'll kind of shake itself out here.
We know it's going to be exciting, and so, Boob, as my Austrian friends like to call you here in Kitzbuhl, there's action up at the top of the course. Let's get it on. And you'll hear from this tremendous crowd, a partisan Austrian crowd, because the first racer on the course is a 23-year-old Austrian racer, Helmut Herflaner. Bob, it happens quickly at the top, so pick him up. He's on the course.
Well, it sure does happen fast, Frank. You called it a free fall. And it just is about that. Look at the speed he picks up right out of the starting gate. Now he's coming up on a section of the mouse volley. There it is. It's a sheer wall, and it is very icy. Now he has to get his thoughts together fast, make a turn, and now he's coming into a section that he has to set up for, and this is called the style up. I think, and most of the races do too. Here it is, the most important part of the entire race, because you've got to hit the turn coming in here right now, or you're going to lose everything going onto the flat road.
Stay up high on that wall, carry a lot of speed onto a catwalk, which is not covered by Austrian television, but this is what Herflaner is seeing right now.
Okay, this is a narrow, flat road. It's important to carry a lot of speed coming off the style hung in order to retain speed on this part of the course. If the skier isn't able to accomplish that, it's pretty much all over for him as far as victory is concerned. Here he has to keep his skis very flat. He's on a side hill right now. He has to keep it a good low crouch position, so that we call that a tuck position, aerodynamically sound, so the air will go right up over his back rather than hit him onto the chest. Also, Frank, earlier this week it really snowed a lot here, and each day, well, there have been really hundreds of Army guys up here, and they keep scraping it out, so it gets faster and faster and faster.
Again, we have a racer with a camera that we had go down the hill earlier, but this is what Herflaner is traversing right now.
Okay, we can see that flat road now. He's going to come up, though, on a pretty steep lower section of the course in just a few moments here.
And we will be picking up Helmut Herflaner as he comes back into our Austrian coverage in just a moment. That's his running time on the right, and you'll see Herflaner coming over in just a moment. And here he is. Oh, Bob, he's in trouble.
Frank, on the house Hausberg bump coming in the lower part of the course. It looks like he got back just a little bit. He was carrying a lot of speed. And I'll tell you, something you don't want to do when you're going about 75 miles an hour.
Let's take another look. He looks to be all right, but we're going to see what happened right here.
He was in good position right there. He had his weight on his downhill ski, everything under control. Apparently no problems yet. All of a sudden, he started to lean in just a little bit, and the skis kind of slid out right from under him. There's a lot of ice on that part of the course, and he might have just slipped just a little bit. Something you don't want to do when you're going about that fast.
Just try and imagine what goes through your mind. You're helpless. You have lost it, and this is what happened to Herflanger. He took a tremendous fall, but he does appear to be all right. Now he's gathering himself together, getting on his feet. So Herflanger is out of the competition, but he is okay. Meanwhile, the crowd is buzzing at the finish line. They do not know exactly what has happened to Herflanger. They know he's out of the race. More action to come. Canadian Ken Reid in the start house coming up. Hill, one of the fine Canadian racers, Ken Reid. He likes the Hahnenkamm. He was third here last year to Podborski. He won in 1980, and earlier Bob had a chance to talk with a very articulate Ken Reid about this course. Speaking of skiing, well, that's exactly what Ken Reid has been doing this year. He's fourth in World Cup downhill points. He's had 5 top 10 finishes. And you know, Bob, they really love Ken Reid here at the Hahnenkamm. They have great respect for him.
Well, it really is everybody's favorite. It was just about 2 years ago that he just ruined his leg, and nobody ever thought he'd be ski racing again, and here he is, one of the favorites again. Got back just a little bit on the mouse volley, but he got it back together. Now the big turns are coming up. Look at him, look for speed coming through. He had trouble in a makeup race held here yesterday in just this section. Probably cost him the race.
This course, this top part of the course, Bob, almost made for Ken Reid as he turned so well. Now he's high on the style arm.
Oh, it's very steep and very icy, but he's carrying the speed around there. Did a good job there, Frank.
Now he disappears from the part of the course not covered by Austrian television, but we'll go back up there and watch some of these turns.
Okay, we can see how critical these turns are, Frank. Here he really is just looking for speed. It's amazing. And now he's coming around. His skis are just floating all over the place, and it's extremely icy up here. But he really is carving outstanding turns, not letting those skis slip sideways, keeping his weight right over his skis. Really did a good job.
That's the intermediate time of Herflanger on the left, and this is Ken Reid on the right, and he was faster on the top, Bob.
Yeah, you were pretty good on that Hausberg bump. Now he's on a very critical side here. And this is really fast, and it is ripply and very icy. And coming down here in the compression, Frank, from that sun into the darkness, you really can hardly see where you're going.
Ken Reid carrying a speed of some 80 miles per hour through the final shushes, running time on the right. And, of course, Herflanger did not finish the Austrian skier. He went off the course. So this is our leader, Ken Reid. His time, 2:02:47. A fine run by Ken Reid, who's having a great year.
He's going to like that one, too, Frank. I think he's going to be very happy with it.
Quickly, he looks up to see the time on the electronic scoreboard, and it clips it off, and he does appear to be satisfied. But still to come, some really fast racers. And here's one of them, Bob, who's really come of age this year, a young Swiss racer, Urs Reber. He has really been smoking this year. He is the only racer on the circuit, Bob, to have finished in the top 10 in all the previous 6 downhills. He's on the course.
He's also one of the strongest racers on the Tour, Frank. If you look at those thighs in the starting gate. But today he's racing with a very severe cold. This could hamper him some.
24-year-old youngster, and his own teammates call him a snowcat. That's how big and strong he is, Bob.
Well, look at him kind of power right through those turns. No great finesse, but he is so strong, and he just keeps right on coming.
Now through the style hung, again trying to stay up high to carry as much speed as possible into this part of the course not covered by Austrian television. And, of course, the Swiss are on hand. Bruno Kernen, a Swiss racer, won yesterday's makeup race from Wengen that was canceled. Now Ken Reid, of course, watching the seconds tick off on the clock. He has the lead, of course, at the bottom of the hill, and we're going to go back up very shortly and pick up Reber as he will appear. That is the intermediate time of Ken Reid on the left, and Reber was faster on the top than Reid.
Well, he sure was faster, Frank. You know, at 24, he's kind of typical of the Swiss. He's had to work his way up through that Swiss team. It's a powerful team just to make, but here he is, one of the leaders now.
He has that great strength carrying that speed through the compression, the final shush. His running time is on the right. Now you see the time of Ken Reid, the leader, looking on the left. The time for Reber to take the lead is on the left, and he is going to take the lead from Ken Reid. We have a new leader. Here's Reber.
He was fantastic on that lower part of the course, Frank. He picked up almost 0.8 of a second over Reid.
Wow, you talk about a strong dude. The Swiss have been telling us about this youngster, and he never had a top 10 finish until this year. He had it earlier in the year, but he has taken the lead now from Ken Reid. So Ken Reid, disappointed he has to be. He had the lead for a moment, but Urs Reber of Switzerland is the new leader here in Kitzbuhl, Austria. We'll be back. And still here Here comes a great veteran racer, Bob. He won the last 3 downhills of last season. He's done well thus far this year. As a matter of fact, he won the 2 in Aspen, your hometown.
He sure did, Frank, and I'll tell you, he's a good one, but at 6 feet tall, it's a little hard sometimes to get unraveled early, so he's got to really get ready and hit these turns well right out of the start. It looks like he is getting off to a pretty good start. He looks very good on the mouthful. He's very well contained.
Now into these sharp turns at the lower part of the top part of the course.
Frank is turning very well right through here. You can see those skis carving right around. They're not flipping all over the place. Now he's coming down in the style hunt. Now it's going to be extremely important that he hit this turn, getting ready for the road. Skis are chattering just a little bit down there, but he got him back together.
And he's a big man. He'll carry a lot of speed on the flat part, and there is a great downhill racer, Karl Schranz. Great name from the 60s and early 70s. An Austrian skier, of course, and he's on hand. Meanwhile, our 2 leaders, Ken Reed on the left, he's in second place. That is Ernst Raber, the leader at the moment, the Swiss racer on the right. That's the intermediate time of Raber on the left, and this is Mueller at the top, and he's slower than Raber on the top.
Well, he lost a lot of time on the flats in between, Frank. It's hard to understand a guy that's that big and strong. Usually he's to pick up speed, but now on these little ripples coming down here, he can probably get it back together if he really gets slow in his stuck, but he's having trouble holding his stuck. Skis are sliding all over the place coming down here.
Peter Mueller, his running time on the right, the time to take the lead on the left. That, of course, is Ernst Raber of Switzerland, and Mueller trips the electric timing device, and he does not take the lead. He moves into 3rd place. Would you believe this? Peter Mueller has moved into a 3rd place tie with Silvano Meili, his teammate. They have exactly the same time. Meanwhile, getting into position up at the start house at the top of the hill is one of the great names in alpine ski racing history, Franz Klammer. Who would ever forget the gold medal run at Innsbruck in '76? Does he have plans for next year's Olympics at Sarajevo? Best I've ever seen perform. I'll never forget. Patrick Opel Mountain, Innsbruck '76. Here he is again, Bob, still racing at age 29.
I think he's the oldest man on the World Cup circuit right now, and off snow, he's always the same, a great guy. But when he's racing, he's always the same. Charging all over the mountain. Nothing has changed over the years.
His motto is go for it, and he will put some acrobatics on for you.
Well, he's excited. Look at those arms starting to flail right here at the top. Frankie's had a 1st, a 2nd, and a 3rd this year. Look at those arms get twisted behind him, but he always manages to kind of get things back together again.
Banging off the style hung. Now he goes down onto the catwalk. Franz Klammer will pick him up in a moment. He has legions of fans here in his home country of Austria, as does this man, Tony Seiler, triple gold medalist, 1956. Lives right here in Kitzbuhl, Austria. That is Raber's time on the left. Klammer's little slow on the top. Oh, he got in trouble there, Bob.
Well, Frankie got just a little bit of back. That's where Herfleet had problems in the first part of the race. And right now he's really got to make up a lot of time. He is excited. Look at him come charging down here.
Carrying a speed of about 80 miles per hour through the flat, down through the compression. That's the time to beat to take the lead on the left of Raber. Klammer's running time on the right, and he will not take the lead. He will move into 5th place. But again, another typical Franz Klammer run. The crowd loved it. He will not win the Holland this year, but there's a lot of racing left in this man. But, Bob, it was vintage Klammer. Let's go back and look once again.
Well, we can see those hands, Frank, come flying all over the place. And the racers refer to their own run when they get all disorganized and their hands flip around. As, hey, I had a Franz Klammer run. This is exactly what he said. Look at how he windmills through the air right here. He's amazing, isn't he?
How he stays on those skis, no one will ever know. Franz Klammer has moved into 5th place, and let's take a look at the standings. Ernst Raber of Switzerland is the leader. Ken Reed of Canada is 2nd. Silvano Meili of Switzerland is in 3rd place, tied with Peter Mueller. Franz Klammer in 5th place. More action to come from Kitzbuhl. One of those wild Canadians. This is Todd Brooker, the lesser known of the Canadian racing crew. He's had trouble with injuries in the past, and he's just a little wild, Bob.
Well, he sure is. They call him a high-risk skier, Frank, because he's all over the place. He's had all kinds of knee injuries. As a matter of fact, he can't even jog and train. He can only ride a bicycle. But he's a good athlete. As a matter of fact, he's a 6th handicap golfer. Had a little trouble right there in that slip. And if he could get down this mountain, he could really throw a scare into him.
Todd Brooker, he was 17th here yesterday in the makeup race from Wengen, and he is having a bit of a problem, but he's really motoring, Bob.
Well, Frank, he's had a lot of falls, but he looks like he's in pretty good shape right here.
Okay, Bob, the top of the course was not a cosmetic success, but he was fast. Todd Brooker, and He has a lot of support, a lot of Canadians here. They've won the last 3 Hahnenkamms. They're looking for another victor. But right now, the leader is Urs Reber of Switzerland. He's looking up and watching the seconds click off on the scoreboard. And let's pick up Brooker once again at the intermediate point. And he's fast, Bob. He's only 0.04 of a second off that of Reber.
He's having a fantastic run. You know, the Canadians practically own this downhill, something the Austrians don't particularly like. Look at him, carry speed down here, Frank. He almost got it right there. Again, he almost lost it. Frank, he's having some right down here.
23-year-old Todd Brooker, and he is really having himself a run. That is a time to beat to take the lead. That's Reber on the left, and here comes Brooker. Brooker is the leader. Unbelievable. Todd Brooker.
Running head down here.
Oh, look at that face. Todd Brooker has taken the lead from Urs Reber of Switzerland. And he looks in very good position to win this Hahnenkamm. And look at the smile. He has pushed Kenny Reed back to 3rd place, and now Kenny Reed over there congratulating. And Bob, that was shades of Franz Palmer all over again. He was all over the mountain. Let's go back and pick it up. Todd Brooker, here he is, lower part of the mountain. He's everywhere.
And Frank, he was carrying so much speed down here that it flew him a lot lower down. And here he hit some ripples, almost went off his skis. He was hitting some bumps that the other racers didn't hit because they were a lot higher on the hill.
And how about at this point, Bob, right here?
Well, we can see him start windmilling a la Franz Palmer and almost sat back again and almost flew him off his skis.
Todd Brooker of Canada, a race of a lifetime. Meanwhile, up at the top of the hill, one of the great athletes ever produced by the United States, Phil Mayer. The last 2 years, the overall World Cup champion. He won the slalom title a year ago. He won the giant slalom, Bob, and he doesn't like to race it downhill. He will only do it when he needs it to collect combined points, but he is a good downhiller.
Well, he could be a great downhill, Frank. He doesn't train it very much. The reason that he says he doesn't like it is because he says it bores him. I can't imagine being bored going down a downhill like this.
It's hard to believe. It speeds at 85 miles per hour, but I've heard him say it. He just does not think it is as demanding as the technical races. Here he is now going to the style line.
Well, he had a little bit of a slip right there in the turn, and he should be very good in the turns, Frank, because that's just naturally, especially being such a good giant slalom skier. Got his hand back a little bit there, too.
Phil Mayer. Again, his points down in overall World Cup standings because they have only run 3 slaloms, but you will see him pick up, and you can see he has support right here in Kitzbuhl, Austria. There, of course, is the Alpine director of the U.S. ski team, Bill Moreau, looking on, talking to his troops up at the top, and you see the running time of Phil Mayer. He's fast, Bob.
Well, you know, Frank, he's having a pretty good downhill run, and, you know, this is really kind of a miracle in itself because he doesn't train downhill. All the other guys train on glaciers all fall, especially lined up downhill training courses, but not Phil, just in the races. Almost sat back right there.
He almost lost it. The tips almost crossed. Running time of Phil Mayer on the right. He will not take the lead. That, of course, on the left is the time of Todd Brooker, but Phil Mayer with a good run. 2:03.58. That'll be good enough for a 13th place finish for Phil Mayer. But the story here in Kitzbuhl today is a Canadian named Todd Brooker. He came out of nowhere, 23 years old, banged up. It hurt his leg. They didn't think he was even going to race today. And Todd Brooker will win the Hahnenkamm, the 43rd Hahnenkamm. And Bob is working his way over to have a word with him right now. He was in 3rd place, of course, another Canadian, Peter Mueller, and Silvano Meili tied for 4th place, and Franz Palmer was in 6th place. For the United States, Phil Mayer had the best finish. He was 13th, and Doug Powell was 18th. And as we look at the standings in World Cup downhill racing, Kattemann of Switzerland is still on top, but 4 other racers are closing in. Let's take another look at the winner of the 43rd running of the Hahnenkamm. There he is, Todd Brooker, on the shoulders of Ken Reed. This is Frank Gifford for Bob Beatty saying so long from Kitzbuhl.